So then maybe after I found love, I will find God. Or do you think perhaps we look for God first? I should look for God first, then love will follow. Do you think it's possible to find God without finding love? So then, if I can find God or love someplace, wherever I can find love, then maybe I can find God. And if I can't find love there, then I can't find God there, since love is all there is, and that is the core reality, that God is love. So maybe I can find love in this water, because we attribute that to very spiritual, highly spiritual things. Water, yeah? Even the Holy Bible is always going about water. The significance of water, spirit applies. But can you find love in just about anything? How about some horse manure? Now you're saying, well, that's racy. That's so out of the box. And I don't know about that. But you found love in the food. We found the fork and the transformer a moment ago, and that painting of the transformer, abstract fork. People put a lot of love in the food, when they cook it and prepare it and eat it and so on and so forth. And the horse manure, well, that provides a lot of love for the food as it's growing through the agricultural process to eventually get it on your table, on your pots and pans and plates and so on and so forth. So maybe once we can find love over here, then we'll find God. And so when we can find love, where we can find love, we'll find God. If we can't find love there, then I guess God's not there. But just because you can't find it doesn't mean God's not there. Just maybe you just overlooked it. So maybe that's the proper order of things. No one said it was easy. This thing called love. Matter of fact, I say it's more hard to love than it is to hate. So maybe it's easier to find hate than it is to find love. But what is hate then? Is love not there? So I guess God's not there. Or maybe it is. But God is all things, so let's see how complex it goes. So, once again, back to the puzzle and the riddle. There's only one core reality, that is God is love. So then, that must mean everything is love, because everything is God, and God must be everything in order to exist in the Bible. So perhaps this thing called hate is just another dynamic of love, for whatever purpose that serves. Otherwise, what is it? I'm not so sure I know either way. So I can almost hear you say, well, when you figure it out and you get certain, just say you're not sure. When you get certain, let us know. Well, as I was thinking about it, I had it on pause for a moment. I was thinking about something I think about from time to time. I thought about before that opposites, without a contrasting opposite, then what would you have? So I'm looking around right now, and I'm looking at someone called a white person right now running towards a bus. Now I'm looking at a black person, so-called black person sitting there. Those are supposed to be opposites. And they say in the beginning, it started off with just black people out in Africa, and then somehow or another we got all these different varieties of man now that sprang from blacks in Africa. Why was that? Was that just some accident? Or was it some universal design in that, kind of like the moon and the sun being placed where it's placed and what purpose it serves in the overall scheme of things, or male and female, which are opposites as well? You think that was some accident, or was that deliberate to make a man and a woman, or a male and a female, whether it be human beings or otherwise? So it started off as black, I guess, so they say, scientists, and end up being quite a few things. So you have opposites. So then you have hate, I guess. Something's supposed to be opposite from love. And do whites and blacks love one another? No, it's a riddle. But yeah, that's something I thought about. Can you say that night is night without the day, and that day is day without the night, and right is right without the wrong, and black is black without the white? Before white, there was just black. If you listen to what they said about people and the scientists in Africa. And all of a sudden you've got white, which is nothing new, but white people, I guess, was new. But white was nothing new. White was always been here, or ever since it's been here. And anyway, and now you have a contrast. So now you have to go into things like love and hate, and why love and hate are embrace or not embrace, you know, because you have the contrast there. But if essentially it's black, but it just looks differently, then I guess that can bring us back to love and hate. So is there really hate, or just another part of love, another nuance of love?
Next Sunrail train, T317, southbound, will be arriving in 5 minutes.
So as I was doing, I had it on pause again. I saw this guy walk by with a gauge on his arm, and so I just call it a gauge, like bandage on his arm. And I started thinking about pain. Now, what purpose could pain serve in a universe that is of love? If that's what you say God is. God is love. And that's the only core reality. When we have all this pain going on, what purpose does that serve? You know, I used to ask a question. The question was, why did God, the Creator, the Source, make it necessary that people, and I was very specific about it, need to eat and sleep, require food and sleep and rest? It seems such an inconvenience from how I was looking at it, right? And then I thought about it. It serves a purpose in the overall scheme of things. It really does, like pain. It serves a purpose in the overall scheme of things. Without pain, where would we be? At least on planet Earth. I don't know what they do across the universe. Maybe there's some places in the universe that they don't have pain. But it seems to serve a hell of a purpose here. You get enough pain, you start looking for answers. Or you get away from something that's causing the pain. You can find yourself just chilling like I don't know what, and just chilling. There's no pain. You're just chilling, and you're not quite getting it done. So now you get enough hunger pains, and you get up and you start searching for something to eat. And now you're moving. And things are moving like something that's not stagnant, like an ocean or a river or a stream that moves and it's not stagnant. Like if I didn't have to eat, a good bit of what I do, I wouldn't do, perhaps, yeah? I didn't have a requirement to eat. And if you want to rise above that requirement, and you can, I do believe you can, that's another thing. That's another story. There are those who rose above it without a need to eat. I believe that. You can come back from the dead 3 days afterwards, up in the grave, beyond 3 days after the fact. You know, I'm pretty sure it makes sense to me that you don't really require food to live, to sustain life. And they said that about Jesus. Once he merged into the Christ, we found quite a few things. So I guess we're looking for love. And what's his name? Tesla? Tesla said love is all around you. Love is outside your door. Back in, what was that? The 80s? And then Van Halen saying, how do you know when it's love? I don't know, it's just something you feel together. And am I going on about things like a crazy man? I'm really not. It's just something I'm thinking about these days because it's something that I feel like needs to be pondered. It's a very serious subject, a very important subject of love, and I may sound like a novice right now as I'm fumbling around with songs and so on and so forth. But really, I'm ponder this thing. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, make it and put it on my list of things to consider as I'm going through the day, just looking for something to eat or some vice or another to give me that titillation that I'm looking for. or trying to find some love or some escapism through this guitar, or maybe the answer, the solution to the things that serve an obstacle or impediment or obstruction or a challenge or whatever it happens to be in my life through the outlet of music, which is also the Lord's work. Music, maybe I'd approach it that way instead of approaching it as some kind of, maybe I'd approach it the way I'm approaching it and see where it leads. So I used to think about it differently, much differently. But as my love has evolved or devolved, either way you look at it, from what it used to be and what it is now, much has changed with how I regard music and look at music. And a lot of other things has changed as well. So maybe once I can get back to the point where I can look at music and see music and feel about music the way I used to feel about music, a lot of other things will come into fall into play as well, like so many dominoes, having a domino effect. I'd like to have bliss. Does anyone remember bliss? There are some of you out there that have never forgotten it. You're still in that bliss mode. For me, that's worth much. I'd give you just about all kind of things for bliss. You can take this and that, and if I had billions of dollars right now, trillions of dollars, and you told me, well, there's only one way to get your bliss, you hand over all that money. I'd be like, well, can I keep a little bit at least? I mean, just enough. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to give you all this fucking money for that endless bliss. So you say, what does that have to do with love? I don't know. What's the difference? Bliss? Isn't that love at its purest form? You gotta love it. Bliss, right? I mean, what's not to love?